That was the whole impetus. And that's why I don't think it's a bulking of the body issue. I think it's a stubbornness issue at this point.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
I'm Evan Closky.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every single day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and email us anytime with your great mailbag questions and voice memos, lockedonrays@gmail.com. We have Evan Closky on the program for a fun Friday episode, and peek behind the curtain, inside baseball here. We are recording this ep in the middle of the Oakland A's Rays series. Unfortunately, the Rays lost game one, got shut out by the Athletics at home 3-0. And based on what happens as we are recording right now, and the way that the Rays have struggled of late, Evan, I am going to go out on a limb and suggest that it is a very tough weekend series coming up against the big bad Baltimore Orioles. And this is, I believe, the first time that the Rays are playing them this season?
It is, yes.
What are you looking for? What do the Rays need to do to get off this stinky stretch and show the Orioles, or try to show the Orioles, that this team isn't dead to rights yet?
I mean, they got to hit. They got to. I mean, you're going to face one of the best teams in Major League Baseball, and you're going to face them 7 of the next 9 times. Right now, this stretch is going to determine whether this team has a shot to maybe believe they can be a wild card team, or if they should dabble in the selling market. Like 7 out of 9 against the Orioles, they can go 1-6 in those games, and see you later. I don't whatever, you get the Marlins in between.
Yeah.
But you go 1-6 against the Orioles, forget it. Like, I just think it's, at that point you'd be close to maybe 6, 7, 8 games under 500, 9 games under 500. It just doesn't. It would just really be hard to convince me or the computers that you have a shot, even if you go on the most ridiculous of heaters. So I want to see a group that's fighting for their lives, because their backs are up against the wall. And I get it. It's June. It just started. But you can't win a wild card spot, or, win a division in June. But you can certainly lose the abilities to fight for a spot in June. So just want to see a group that's pissed off, that they're fighting. And for some reason, they decide to have better at-bats after the 7th inning. But, there's just at this point, I'm asking for the bare minimum of watching a game and just being entertained, because I watch games and I am just slowly sinking into my own puddle of tears.
Like Friday's game against the Royals, the 8-1 clunker that was.
That, you make some random pitcher from the A's look like he's Nolan Ryan. Michael Wacha, you make him look like Adam Wainwright in his prime. It's just, you struggle against Seth Lugo. I get it. Seth
Lugo's
Lugo,
really good this year.
Yeah.
He might win a Cy Young if he keeps it up.
Yeah, so, I mean, like...
Yeah, but you get back-to-back perfected and then no hitter.
Well, that's my point is that, like, against Seth Lugo, I hear you, right? Like, I'm not going to, like, right? Like, there's a lot of times during these stretches where you're hitting like crap, and then you run into, like, let's say Corbin Burns. Well, guess what? They're probably not going to have a good hitting day.
Right.
And you know what? Even if they were going well, they probably weren't going to have a good hitting day. So there's no shame that day in not performing up to abilities. But when you're facing Michael Wacha and I don't even remember the guy's name. Spence with the Rule 5 pick. When they go into the 6th inning with a no-no, Walker with a perfect game, that's a problem.
It's a problem.
These are not all-stars. These are guys that you should be able to pepper. So the Rays offense looks like a minor league team that got called up collectively to play Major League Baseball games. And that's just how sad it's been. And, constantly I'm asked, like, what can the team do? And there is nothing that Kevin Cash, Chad Mottola, or anyone in that locker room can do to fix guys like Randy, Yandy, Brandon, and, they don't have Josh Lowe, who's injured, but to fix 4 of their best 5 hitters absolutely stinking it up.
Yeah.
Just not only, like Randy and Yandy were 8.1 WAR last year combined. And now I think they're like a combined 0. They might be a combined negative because Randy has been so flippin' bad. He has been one of the worst players in Major League Baseball. It is inconceivable that a man who played the way that he did the past handful of years, dating back to 2020, where he looked like Hank Aaron, to just completely and utterly fall off a cliff to where
it's the Bad Bunny curse. You get mentioned in a song lyric and you struggle from there on out.
Well, if Randy Arozarena loves that life so much, he ain't gonna have it very much longer if he hits 150.
I've never in all of these years watching baseball, I've never heard of a guy bulking up for a season and then have a tremendous season. I'm sorry. I've never heard of that. You guys can call me out right now if you think, oh, well, actually in 2008, this guy bulked up. Like, okay, I'll take it. But really, it's always this is what happens. You bulk up and then they don't have a good season. Like,
I mean, his bat speed doesn't seem like it's like a bad thing. I understand the bulking up stuff. It's the one difference that we can all point to of like, why does he suck so much? Well, it's because he bulked up. I tend to believe it's way more mechanical with his lower body than it is his upper body. I mean, the guy did some curls. Like, I don't think that it's really gonna like.
It's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and so much more. So go ahead, do it right now. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn, LOCKEDON, to make every playoff shot count. Again, FanDuel.com/LockedOn. That's LOCKEDON. FanDuel, they are America's #1 sportsbook.
If he thought that bulking up was the problem, he would have deflated himself by now. It's just like he wouldn't like it. To me, this is a mechanical issue. He's A, letting a lot of good pitches go. B, he's not chasing very often, but he's making contact with the chasing. And C, he can hit a fastball. And that,
I mean, if you bulk up, you're saying like, yeah, it's the way you're approaching it, not even mentally, but your swing. But your swing at least is going to change just a little bit if your body changes so drastically. Like it has to. Like it just anatomy wise, like it's not going to look the same if you're bulked up. Like I understand what you're saying, but like that in it. That's an after effect of how you're swinging now. And you're right. The fastball, he used to hit that crap out of the ball in a fastball. Now he sees it right down the middle and then swings and does his best Javi Baez impersonation, swinging away at things that are on the other side of the batter's box.
Addendum to that, Evan, before you answer, maybe if he's bulked up that much, maybe the endurance and stamina isn't quite there on a game-to-game,
the whole
day-to-day, travel-to-travel basis.
The whole point of him bulking up was to have more endurance later into the season because he felt like his body broke down midway through last year. So that was the whole impetus. And that's why I don't think it's a bulking of the body issue. I think it's a stubbornness issue at this point. I think it's a man whose swing is not working well right now and where constantly hitters get older and Go look at any hitter, how you enter the league and what your stance was and where your hands were and all this stuff. Eventually you get older, your body changes, and you have to work with your body and those changes. And I don't think that Randy has really done much to try to tinker or change what he's always done. In fact, he said so much that I train and I do all the same things that I've done since I was mashing home runs in 2020, right? I still go through the same routine. You're not a young pup no more, all right? I think, what is he, 28? You know, back then, what was he, 24?
Yeah.
That's
he should be in the prime of his life. He's not 33, 34.
I understand that, but he's got more miles on him. It's just, that's the key. That's what makes great hitters great. Yeah. The league learns a little bit about you correct. And he's always been able to kind of do that. But now it's just when you're not hitting a fastball, when they're literally just blowing right by you, I don't know what else to say. I mean, again, it's like, and we talked about this the last time, he's hitting it to opposite fields when he makes contact. He just can't get a hit the opposite way. I don't know what the hell is going on, but Denard Span spoke on WDAE the other day and said that he would give Randy 50 more at bats to get him to 200 before kind of forcing his hand into the complex. And
well, it's not the first time that an organization has done that. John Romano wrote an article about that very thing where the Royals had done it on multiple occasions, happened to Jose Abreu, Miguel Sano, and then they come back refreshed, reinvigorated, figured out what was being or going wrong with them, and finally settle back in.
Yeah. And I get, like, and then people out there just want to say trade Randy. And again,
at his lowest valued makes no sense.
Correct. You're probably stuck with him. Now, if somebody wants to give you 85 cents on the dollar, maybe you'd consider it, right? Maybe, maybe if the Mariners said, hey, we'll trade you Ford for Randy Arozarena and something else.
For those that don't know, real quick, Ford is a catching prospect for the Mariners system.
Yes, and they have Cal Raleigh, so they really don't need him anymore. If they want to kind of pay that price and the Rays need to kick in something else, maybe another hitter, something else that they're looking for to bulk up in at the trade deadline, I think you'd consider that. Probably it's Ford's too tall of an ass. That's the problem. You're probably going to need someone sexier than that. But what I'm just simply saying that you need I don't know if those type of deals are going to be available. So you're kind of stuck, and you might be better suited of just kind of like allowing the offseason to happen and possibly flipping him, convincing teams that, hey, it was a bad year, it was a one-off, and you can kind of try to get in on him at the
Cody Bellinger it or something.
Yeah. Essentially, but the Rays aren't going to want to pay what his ARB number is going to be next season for a guy who's coming off of this season. So there is a part of diminishing returns anyway of what you'll be able to get. So you really kind of play this game, right, of do I trade him at his lowest value, or do I pray that in the second half of the season he can at least turn it up a little bit to where we can convince people, hey, this is the guy who you're getting, not whatever the heck you saw in the first half of the season. So it's very nuanced. Just fans, they just like to say, get rid of him. Brandon Lowe, get rid of him. Yeah. That's not good business. That's not good process. That's not how the Rays work. That's not how many organizations work in any sport. You don't just get rid of people because they stink in that current time. There's a lot that goes into it. It's a 162-game season. You have to remain patient, and losing compounds a lot of issues. So, especially
face of the franchise type players, like that just doesn't happen. But you know what does
people
happen?
Go through slumps. We've had a couple bad episodes here and there. It happens,
It happens. You're in a drought, and you try to get out of it, and we're gonna try to get out of it right now by doing something cool.
Closky on the clock.
Closky on the clock.
Closky on the clock.
Closky on the clock here.
Closky
we only did 4 of the 15.
I think 4 is the right number.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm there with you. Ulises, do you want to start it off?
Yes, I do. So I think 3 days ago, after after a loss, I believe Cash mentioned that he had been concerned for a little while, and it kind of was a shock because usually he's so even keeled and he keeps his words, kind of tempered down. So it was actually for me. I loved it. I love the transparency and him showing some emotion of like, yeah, this kind of stinks. Do you think this level of concern is going to rise? And if so, what needs to happen for him to be even more concerned?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the concern's going to rise. I mean, I also think that the team's not this bad either. But until someone decides to step up, and it's got to be a Yandy, a Randy, a Brandon Lowe, a Josh Lowe coming back, you have a lot of peripheral pieces out there who are not meant to lead this team. Jose Caballero led this team in April, right? He can't do that an entire season. It's Jose Caballero. Ben Rortvedt had a great April. He's going to come back down to earth. Ahmed Rosario had a great April. He's come back down to earth. There are a lot of players who are not supposed to be that good who had an exceptional April who are coming back down to earth. Now, at some point, they're going to rebound because they're not 150 type hitters, but the concern will continue. And I think Kevin might have to rattle some more cages, and the front office might have to rattle some more cages to make it happen.
Oh, perfect 60 seconds.
Perfect.
This guy's a pro. He knows how to get in and out.
I love it.
Of a segment or a question like that. My question for Evan, we didn't really get to dive into it too much with you regarding City Connect, but give me one item or thing that you love about the Rays City Connect jerseys and one thing that you dislike or wish they would have done differently with the theme.
One thing that I love the Sky Ray. I love the Skyway Bridge mixed into the Devil Ray logo. I think it's a great way to bring the city into the forefront of kind of, Pinellas County and what we kind of experience on this side of the bridge, as well as an ode to the past. So awesome there. As for everything else, as much as I love the colors, I love all that stuff. The skateboarding thing, I had no idea was such a popular part of St. Pete until after they released City Connect, gave me a bunch of facts about it. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that stuff. But, I think they might have gone like a little bit too into the weeds as far as the City Connect jerseys are concerned. But that's me nitpicking because to me, the Rays have the best City Connect jerseys in Major League Baseball. So
look at that. We'll send this clip to our new buddy Warren Hypes, who spearheaded that project. So
That's right. And who we also saw on Friday when we went.
Yeah. Not just walking around signing autographs and taking pictures, but he had his camera with him. He was working.
Yeah,
he was gritty with it.
That's nice. Evan, my last one for today is going to be really simple. When is your next game that you'll be at the Trop covering from beginning to end?
Oh man, I do not really know. I would have to look at a schedule here. Let me see, beginning to end. Oh, buddy. That's a good question. It would either be Saturday or Sunday, June 8th or 9th, or somewhere maybe even at like Wednesday, June 26th, Seattle game, because they have a long road trip after the next homestand. So, the weekends are open for me and those early morning games. But otherwise, a lot of times I'm in and I'm out,
Yeah, we see the posts on Twitter pregame, which are really nice.
That's right. I show up and then I got to still do the 6:00 show. So, if the team was a little bit better, we'd be there for an entire game.
Right.
But, for a lot of times I got to get what I need, talk to the team, listen to Cash, and then I skedaddle out of there. And, by by 5 o'clock, I'm
Makes sense.
already in the parking lot laughing at all the people that Kevin laughs at paying $30 for parking. While, then I get to the highway and I'm like, oh, is that Kevin? Oh, you parked this far away?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
makes
then
sense.
now, are the people in the car? This is a YouTube joke only. So, are the people in the car looking more like this when you see them?
Yes. And for a lot of fans, I think they would enjoy a coloring book as well. So
Yeah.
it would provide maybe a little more entertainment than some of these other games that they've seen.
Seems that way.
Well, speaking of entertainment, my last Closky on the clock question here. With Stitch Fix, you can easily upgrade your wardrobe this year with a professional stylist that helps you find new on-trend favorites that will work just for you. All you have to do is give your stylist your size, style, and budget preferences, then order boxes when you want and how you want with no subscription required. We always love that. Stitch Fix makes it all so easy. We don't like to shop and then spend all this time and effort going to big box stores and all that. Just do it from your computer. It's that easy. Plus, the bonus here is you get outfits that make you look and feel really good. And if you don't love something, just send it back. Shipping, returns, and exchanges are always free with Stitch Fix. Style that makes you feel as good as you look. Get started today at stitchfix.com/MLB. $20 off your first fix. That's stitchfix.com/MLB for $20 off. So good, I'll repeat it again. stitchfix.com/MLB. Quick note here, you must redeem within 7 days of sign up. Prospect related, we've been hearing a lot of juice besides Caminero and being injured now, but Carson Williams making headlines, Xavier Isaac making headlines. If you could take, well, let me frame it like this. Which player do you ultimately believe will have the most success in a Rays uniform when it's all said and done?
Oh, that's a great question. I think the ceiling on Carson Williams is super high. Obviously, Junior Caminero super high. I think Xavier Isaac is going to be special. I think I read somewhere that like a computer comp for Xavier Isaac was Mike Schmidt. He was brought in super young, and he has trimmed down. He's stealing bases. His power is so easy. He's got a great command of the strike zone as such a young player. I think this is a dude who he might be one of the best power hitters that ever comes down the chute for the Tampa Bay Rays. And that's with the caveat that Junior Caminero can also be a part of that as well.
Yeah.
Very good.
Agreed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And what's funny is a couple years ago when the Rays selected him, everybody was like, what, why, who, where, what's going on?
Yeah.
And now you see some of the workings of going against the grain there to hopefully have a successful ball player in the big leagues. All right, it is a Friday episode, which means we like to wrap up with baseball trivia and name that war. Ulises, I have baseball trivia for you all, correct?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
That is correct, I think. Okay, so my question pertains to the upcoming series against the Baltimore Orioles. And in front of me, if y'all haven't read the tea leaves lately, Henderson is hitting home runs left and right, 17 as of this recording. So it got me thinking, most homers single season in an Orioles uniform. There are 14, actually, let me frame it differently. With the Orioles, at least 38 homers has been hit on 14 different occasions. Some of those players more than once. I want you all to name me 4 of all the individuals who have done this.
Who have hit at least 38 home runs?
Who have hit at least 38 home runs in an Orioles uniform.
Okay.
All right. Let's just tag team this a little bit. Talk it out. Chris Davis, did he do it before he
had like 40 something and he took
Yeah.
it away from Miggy the second time for a Triple Crown.
Yep.
Chris Davis has done it multiple times. He did it in 2016 with 38, and then in 2013 with 53, and 2015 with 47 before he fell off a cliff. And let's hope that Randy doesn't fall off a cliff with the Rays.
Do we believe Ulises and Manny Machado?
Not 38,
Not
right?
38.
But I'm going for Nelson Cruz had a
Yes.
great season with them.
He did. Yep.
I'm thinking that could be one. Do you like it?
That's a good one.
Okay, let's go with Nelson Cruz.
That is your guess. Nelson Cruz, the year was 2014, and it wasn't too shabby for him as he hit 40 dingers. We know Cruz had an illustrious career before he wound up with the Rays. So that is 2 of the 4 that you all have correct.
Okay, now let's go with a guy that...
Did Brady Anderson do it one year? Didn't he have like an insane 1 year where he
Was
went
that with the Baltimore Orioles, though?
I thought so.
Okay. If you feel good about it, go for it.
Oh, now I'm doubting it now that you don't.
No. Don't.
I'll go with Brady Anderson.
Brady Anderson, who may or may not have been juicing in 1996, whatever he was taking, whatever he was doing, it was working. 50 dingers that year.
Okay.
Might have been juicing with Brett Boone back in those days.
Yeah, and many others.
So remember, I'm going to throw a name. Okay, and it's not him. It's not this guy, but I want you to think of the prototype of player that he is. Adam Dunn, Jay Bruce. Wasn't there one guy that had not Trout, obviously, but a name like that went to the Orioles? And then
what was the who was the guy before this whole stretch started that he had cancer and why am I blanking on his name?
Cancer?
He was like a big part of the team.
Mancini.
Mancini, yeah, Trey Mancini. Yeah, didn't he do it?
But 38, and I don't think so. No, but didn't Jay Bruce had I think Jay Bruce.
Jay Bruce for the Orioles?
Didn't he go?
No, I thought you mentioned a Jay Bruce character, not.
Yeah, but I'm now thinking that it was
BJ Surhoff, Nick Markakis, Miguel Tejada.
Are these guesses, or are you all just workshopping?
No, we're
workshopping.
Miguel Tejada is not a bad guess.
Brian Roberts.
38 doubles.
Might have had 50 stolen bases in a year, or 38 stolen bases. In a year.
I like Tejada out of all those names, but I do think there's a guy like Jay Bruce, if not Jay Bruce, that makes that list.
Need a guess.
Was it Nick? Maybe Nick Johnson.
Maybe, but let's.
All right, we'll go Tejada. We'll just buy time.
Strike 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Jay Bruce.
Strike 2. You're missing a big one.
Okay, big one.
Big.
Brooks Robinson, Evan?
I was going to say, that was literally the name coming out of my mouth.
Brooks Robinson, who's another. I know Jim Tomei also had a little stint with them, but I don't know if he was too old to get 38.
Let's just go Brooks and just.
Okay, let's go Brooks, yeah, because you can't.
Brooks Robinson is incorrect. Frank Robinson, that's strike 3, by the way. Frank Robinson would have been correct as he had 49.
I said Frank.
Oh, you said Frank?
I said Frank.
Oh, I thought somebody said Brooks.
No,
Okay.
we said Frank.
Yeah,
No,
Brooks is here.
Listen back
But
to the
Frank
tape.
is what was said.
Use your
Strike 3,
potato.
You're out. No foul tip. You should have just said the last name or something. So Chris Davis, Brady Anderson, you all got
Smith,
right.
Johnson, Jackson.
Yeah.
Robinson did it. I think, Ulises, you might have been tinkering with Mark Trumbo.
Mark.
At 47.
I think of him as an angel, but good call on Trumbo. Oh, man.
Jim Gentile in 1961 at 46. Boot Powell in 1964 had 39. Ken Williams in 1922 had 39. But the biggie that you all whiffed on was, and this guy did it 3 times with the Orioles, Rafael
Oh,
Cal Mayor O.
Mr. Viagra.
95, 96, 97.
Yeah. You know, I just associate him with the Rangers so much that, I didn't even think about that. But you're right. You're right. Yeah. Damn. Okay. Well, that sucked. Mark Trumbo, son of a bleep, man. I had him. Wasn't that a great thing? Like name kind of like
you were
Trout,
right. You
Jay
were right.
Bruce. Gosh. Okay. I'm over it, obviously. So for Name That War, where we take a player from the past and we try to guess their career Baseball Reference war, only using a Baseball Archive mind. Today's name from the past is a Baltimore Oriole for 1, 2, 3 seasons. Center fielder, Corey Patterson. What is Corey Patterson's
You're kidding me?
Baseball Reference career war?
Did he or did he not play with the Cubs for like half a decade?
He did. Good memory. Okay, you boys got this.
No, I don't.
Do you want me to jumpstart it, Evan?
Yeah, talk
I
about it.
I have a number. I have a number in my head, just really, really quick. You can talk it out, and
Okay.
and just so that you know that I'm not like gonna just piggyback you off completely. But you go.
Okay. I'm guessing Corey Patterson does have his pension, probably played at least 10 to 12 years in the league. Some of that is a part-timer, more or less. I would imagine he had okay-ish to good enough defense if he was playing center field for a designated period of time. Never really wowed me with the bat, I would say, but probably had a decent mix of power, steal. I'm thinking like the average Patterson season was, I don't know, 255, 260 with 12 homers and 18 stolen bases. Bottle all that up, and I'll give you 17 career WAR.
I wrote down 15.7. So at least I don't feel crazy now. So that's my guess.
Not an all-star, played 12 years in the show. His slash line is 252, 290, 400 with an OPS of 691, OPS plus of 79. Very good, Kevin, because he was stealing about 20, 35 bags a season. His career WAR is 9.7.
Hey, I win.
Good
Yes,
for you.
yes, he does. And Evan, because you win, you get to tell people how they can follow your amazing work.
Follow it at Closky, WTSP on the X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yes.
I will respond to 99% of tweets. The 1% is left for the jerks who do not deserve my time. But also on 10tampabay.com, 10 Tampa Bay Plus. We're keeping tabs of UTampa beginning the national championship run, hopefully for them this weekend. The NCAA tournament for baseball started today, so that's good as well. We got some local products all over the country in that. But ultimately, on top of Bucks OTAs, we're enjoying the quiet time.
All right, very good. Hope you all, in the meantime, have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you next week.